Smart Guy was one of the most beloved Disney Channel shows of the late 1990s. Funny, warm, genuinely clever, and built around one of the most likable young leads on television. So why did it end so abruptly after just 3 seasons? The story has been floating around for years, but now Omar Gooding is telling it directly, with full honesty, no filter, and some very specific opinions about how it all went down. And his take is more nuanced than you might expect. Omar Gooding appeared on the June 5th episode of the Art of Dialogue podcast and wasted absolutely no time getting into it. He opened by talking about what Smart Guy actually was as a show, and his love for it came through immediately. He said it was some of the most fun he'd ever had on a job. He compared it to his earlier work on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, where he said he had to tailor his character Irvin Rodman to himself, adding extras to make the lines work. Smart Guy was different. He said it was beautifully written. Every line made them laugh. The table reads were hysterical. This was not a cast going through the motions on a Disney Channel paycheck. These were people who genuinely loved what they were making together, which is exactly what makes the ending so frustrating to him. Here's the background that most people know, but the details matter. Taj Mowry, who is now 40, was the lead of Smart Guy, playing TJ Henderson, the 10-year-old genius who gets bumped up to high school. The show was built around him. His name was in every episode. His character drove every story. And at some point during the show's run, Mowry decided that as the lead, he deserved to be paid more than his ensemble castmates, which is not an unreasonable position for a lead actor to take. The problem, according to Gooding, was the timing and the method. Mowry had previously agreed to be paid the same as everyone else. The salary dispute came to a head during the season, and at some point, Mowry simply did not show up to set. He was written out of an episode. He eventually returned, and then the show was cancelled. 3 seasons, done. Now here is where Gooding's take gets really interesting, because he doesn't dismiss Mowry's position entirely. He understands it. He gets why a lead actor would want more money. His issue is entirely with the execution. He said Mowry probably figured his only option was to just not show up. And Gooding's response to that logic is direct. No man, you're disrupting too much. Make your stand before the season starts. He made the point that if you have a grievance about your contract, raise it before cameras roll, before schedules are set, before everyone else's livelihood is tied to the production moving forward. Once the season is already in motion and you decide not to show up, you are not just making a point, you are causing problems for every single person on that set. The crew, the writers, the cast. All of them collateral damage in the negotiation that could have happened months earlier in a conference room. And then Gooding delivered the most painfully logical line of the whole conversation. He said the network's response was essentially, how about we just cancel your show? Because that is exactly what leverage looks like when you use it at the wrong moment. It disappears. But Gooding didn't leave it as a simple criticism. He circled back to something more important, the love. He said they all loved that show, all of them. Obviously, Taj had his issues, but the point Gooding kept coming back to was this. You make your demands, you make yourself known, and then you show up to work. You do your job. You were paid. You agreed. That's not a lecture about staying in your lane. That's a reminder that your choices on a set affect every single person around you. And when you're the lead, that responsibility is even heavier. The message is not that Mowry was wrong to want more money. The message is that there is a right way and a wrong way to fight for what you deserve. And the wrong way ended one of the best shows any of them ever made. Now, in fairness, Taj Mowry has spoken about his Smart Guy experience too. And his perspective reveals a young person carrying a lot more weight than anyone watching the show would have guessed. In a March 2025 appearance on the How Rude Taneritos podcast, he talked about what it was like going back to regular school during the show's run. He said he had all the friends in the world before filming, and when he came back after shooting 3 episodes, everyone hated him. He described being that kid who got made fun of, that kid who had to stand up for himself. And he said that experience gave him the ability to have sympathy and to grow. He also talked about what it felt like to play a character specifically created for him, and how he never felt the pressure of that because his home life was great and he always felt safe and looked after. That's a person reflecting on a complicated experience with genuine gratitude, not bitterness, not blame, just honesty about how hard it was and appreciation for what it gave him. Both of these men, Gooding and Mowry, clearly loved that show, and both of them clearly still carry it with them. Smart Guy ended too soon. The cast loved it, the fans loved it, and the circumstances that ended it were a combination of a young person navigating a genuinely unfair industry and a mistaken judgment about how to fight back. Omar Gooding told the truth about it, with respect, with context, and with the kind of honesty that only comes from someone who lost something they genuinely cared about. If this story hit different for you, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. See you in the next video.